You need to start pulling your sales forward. What's going on, guys? My name is Nick Friel, founder of Media Simplified and the Loan Launch Program. We help mortgage brokers scale their business using online lead generation, automations, and so much more. And this channel is dedicated to helping brokers like you scale their business and close more deals. In this video, we are going over the one framework that you need to adopt to start closing 3 times, 5 times, 10 times more deals in this next year. And that is, you need to start pulling your sales forward. So I'm going to give you a quick overview of what that means, and then we'll dive into it. Think about it like this. You want to constantly be pulling every bit of business forward. That means every lead that you can get that might come in next week, next month, we want them today. Every call that we could be getting on this week, next week, next month, we want to try and get on them today. Every follow-up with a client, we want to try and pull those all forward. You know, what happens is a lot of times we have our conversations, we have our realtor referrals coming in, and we're kind of comfortable with the flow, and we don't want to bother people. But what you'll find is if you start pulling appointments forward, pulling conversations and whatnot forward, that all of a sudden your schedule is freed up, and yet you're still able to talk with people. Step one is going to be pulling leads forward, right? So oftentimes maybe you have someone come in and they book on a calendar on your website, or they ask you to call next week. Regardless of what they say, we want to try and get on that call immediately. So say they come in here and the appointment is not until here. We want to try and get this appointment done right now and try and avoid all that 2 weeks where anything could happen. They could fall off, they could lose interest. So this first call should always be done immediately, within 60 seconds is better. But to try and get that out of the way, because if they're really not going to be ready for a week, well, at least we've established some communication, and the likelihood that they're going to actually answer here is way higher. So we want to always pull our leads forward, especially if they booked a week out, 2 weeks out. A good way to do this is to make sure your calendars are set to only like a 3-day rolling calendar, so people can't book 7 days out, 14 days out. Even better, we want to pull all appointments forward. So especially when someone sets a time with us, say it's next week or Thursday, we want to try and pull those forward whenever possible. So instead of waiting until Thursday to call someone that you're going to have a 5-minute conversation, if they book today, give them a shout. Say, hey, I just saw you landed on my calendar. I know our call's not until Thursday, but I figured I'd call and introduce myself. Also see if it would be crazy if you and I just knock this out now. Oftentimes they're going to say, yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and get this call out of the way. And you get to pull that business forward. You're opening up that time on your calendar. You are, getting that sale even closer now. And that's this motion that's going to allow you to constantly be getting more business, because you would think that by pulling everything forward, you're going to eventually run out of, business to pull forward. But that's what's going to create that need and the necessity for you to go out and find more business to fill in your pipeline. So you're not going to feel so comfortable with your pipeline, because if you get through your entire pipeline, you talk to them all today, it's going to be very clear that we need to be filling that back end up. Step one, pulling every lead forward whenever possible. Step two, pulling every new appointment forward whenever possible. Step three, how many of you have gotten applications or documents and people say, hey, I'll follow up in a week or a month? No, pull it forward. Appointments, documents, like if they filled out an app, don't wait for them to kind of look, call and say, hey, we were looking for your driver's license and these 1099 documents. Were you able to find those? So pulling that information forward whenever possible. And then ultimately, there's only so much you can do to pull your closes forward, but chatting with your title company, chatting with the closing company, and figuring out what you can do to always be making sure that those closes are coming as quickly as possible. We all know how great it is when someone wants to do a quick turnaround close, yet we don't apply that same principle to the rest of our sales pipeline. We really only think about it on that back end. We only think, okay, it would be great if we could just kind of expedite this and make it a really short close time, but we don't think about doing so with our leads, with our appointments, with our applications, when collecting docs. So this is a very easy framework that you can adopt to one, start making sure that your sales pipeline is actually full, and two, really start to grow. Like if you thought about this in working out, the more workouts you pull forward, and instead of saying, hey, I'm going to do, legs next week, the more of those workouts you can pull forward and do today, the more reward you're going to have in the future. It's the same thing here. The more of these conversations and calls and follow-ups that we can pull forward to today, the more reward and the more room we're going to have in the future to grow our business. So that is the one framework that we want to start mastering as mortgage brokers, and that is to pull every single appointment forward whenever possible. So that's what I want you to do today. Go look at your schedule, find the calls that you have, the appointments that you have, the check-ins that you have coming up. Try pulling them forward. See what it does for your week. You might find that you can get your entire week's worth of sales tasks done today if you just start pulling them forward. So my name's Nick Friel, founder of Media Simplified and the Loan Launch Program. If you're a mortgage broker that's interested in working with us, go ahead and click the link below. If you like these videos, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Every bit of support helps. And either way, we will see you on the next one.